Right, we begin with the games that played out in the Premier League over the weekend. Perhaps we'll start from the game on Thursday. Tottenham, Manchester City. Manchester City ran out 4-2 winners. They came from 2 goals behind, to win by 4 goals to 2. A lot of us expected Tottenham, to come up, with something, especially, after going 2 goals up before halftime. Manchester United fans, Arsenal fans, everybody was really hoping that Tottenham would do, the business. And it looked like they were going to do so. 2 goals by halftime, who would have thought? Only for the game to, come to an end and Manchester City were winning by 4 goals to 2. It was really, really shocking performance by Tottenham, considering that Manchester City didn't even play some of their star players. You have players like Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Kyle Walker, all sitting on the bench. And, to the greatest surprise of everyone, not to everyone really,
What be this?
Tottenham blew a 2-goal lead. It was a really, really shocking performance. You would expect that at this high level in the Premier League, if you are winning by 2 goals, it's always very difficult to come back, especially if you are playing a squad that is, in the top 6 part of the table. It's always very difficult. You need to be mentally completely broken down to surrender a 2-goal lead.
Oh my God.
Imagine Tottenham, imagine Arsenal, leading Manchester City by 2 goals in the first half. The game is as good as gone, or even Manchester United, current Manchester United on form. Imagine them leading Manchester City by 2 goals at halftime. The game is as good as gone. You need to have that high level of awareness, and it was just, it just wasn't there for Tottenham really. For all, the firepower that most people thought they had at the beginning of the season, they really seem to have capitulated, and it's left to see whether Antonio Conte will remain on the job at the end of the season. Of course, there are reports that he's not signing a new contract, or the club is not offering him a new contract to continue his project and all that. But it's interesting to see what is going on at Tottenham, and it will be really much more interesting when the summer, comes by and, a lot of transfer dealings and businesses are happening. I do not know the way they are playing. I do not think that they will get the Champions League spots. Newcastle look much more confident. They look more organized. They look more ready to hurt teams than Tottenham do right now. So I think that will be a key game that we'll all watch out for. That is, if Tottenham are still in the running for the Champions League, come maybe March or April, will be, it will be really cool to see how those 2 teams fare against each other. Newcastle Tottenham is a game I would really like to watch right now, considering the way Tottenham are playing. Liverpool, of course. 0-0 draw with Chelsea, their colleagues in mid-table. It was a mid-table performance, to be honest. The performance was really poor on both sides. One side couldn't attack very well, the other side couldn't defend very well. You saw Liverpool struggling with, defending properly, maybe because of the absence of Virgil van Dijk. And then you saw Chelsea struggling to score. There wasn't that, focal point, that good attacker that could finish. They were getting into the box with some regularity, but they couldn't just finish. It was interesting to see the debut of Mudryk. Yeah, I know, Arsenal missed out. And to be honest with you, that guy is fantastic. Touches, his movements, his pace. He has blistering pace. He spent barely 15 minutes on the pitch and he got, James Milner to get a yellow card. It was so difficult to cope with him. You get the feeling that, if he plays alongside a very potent number 9, he will really light up the league. Arsenal, might feel hard done by Chelsea losing out on Mudryk, but I think that's just what it is. If you're a big football club, you will always miss out on big targets. There's always a player, a big footballer who never signs. It's always the history with football clubs. Every big football club has that story of a great player that they almost signed. Credit to Chelsea though, they've signed him, they've given him a 7.5-year contract. It's very difficult for anybody to be able to pay for him. 100 million. I'm going by his first performance. He will play a lot better, than he did on his debut. I was really impressed, and I think he will do well. So Chelsea fans, let me know in the comments what you feel about Mudryk's cameo appearance against Liverpool. I personally think it was cool, but let me know in the comments what you think. Overall, the game was a very mid game. They had a mid off, to be honest.
It's okay. That is okay. That is okay.
It was really, really poor. The midfield was struggling to connect football. Everything. The football was really poor, to be honest. I think that if Liverpool, had a competent defender, They won't be getting barraged like that. Cody Gakpo is not playing very well, to be honest. I'm not really impressed with what he's done since he arrived. For the amount that he was bought and for the high expectations, especially after the World Cup, I have not seen anything, to be honest. Liverpool fans, there has to be a reason. It could be nerves and all that, but he's not really played well. So the jury's still out on that one. Early days. For Chelsea, I liked Benoit Badiashile. I liked what he did in the back, centre back, along Thiago Silva. I think he was really composed, very good. And that's another defender to watch out for. I think in the future he will really be a big centre back if he keeps playing very well under Graham Potter. Then of course you had Newcastle playing in draw with Crystal Palace, to the happiness obviously of clubs like Manchester United and even Tottenham.
This is football heritage.
Newcastle, the surprise contenders for Champions League this season. They've been playing quite well. They've not lost a game. I think in about 17 games they've not lost. They're drawing a lot of games. They're dropping a lot of points here and there, but they are not losing games. They know how to stay in games. They find a way to just get the results. So if they cannot win a game, they make sure they don't lose, which is really impressive. I think Newcastle have done well. I think Eddie Howe has done quite well. He hasn't really changed the whole squad despite the amounts of money that Newcastle certainly now have. I think he's bought like just 3 or 4 players and they've managed to transform the whole place. It will be interesting to see how they play next season. I think they will really be top contenders next season for the Champions League spot again. I wouldn't give them the Champions League spot this season though. I think they'll make the Europa League. But this is the Premier League. Anything can happen. You never say never. Yeah. So that's what it is. Manchester City played against Wolverhampton again, over the weekend. That's second game in about 3 days or 4 days. And they steamrolled Wolverhampton expectedly. They had beaten them away from home, and on the return leg, Manchester City really dominated. Erling Haaland with 3 goals. A hat-trick. He's now scored 25 Premier League goals. Put it in context, the last 3 Golden Boot winners of the Premier League scored 23 goals each. My guy has scored 25 in January. See, everybody in Premier League should just be ready. I think he's going to score 40 goals.
Hey, coach.
Minimum 35 goals. You ready to first? And Haaland will score 35 to 40 goals in the Premier League this season. I think he's on course to score 35. If he doesn't score 40, he will not score less than 35. He's still going to play against teams like Bournemouth, Everton. No disrespect. These guys are all going to get, beat. They are all going to get beat. And I think Haaland will have a say or two in how that happens.
What be this?
Interesting to see how they are playing, and what will happen when they meet Arsenal. Of course, the one team, that is really contending for the title with them this season. Speaking about Arsenal and Manchester United played a classic football match. It was beautiful. For the neutrals, for Manchester United fans, for Arsenal fans, it was a wonderful game of football. Arsenal were relentlessly pressuring Manchester United, especially in the last 20 minutes. It was all Arsenal. You could even take it back to the last 30 minutes, from like the 60th to 65th minutes, all to the end. It was all Arsenal. It was a barrage of pressure. Manchester United will feel hard done by, the yellow card that Casemiro got against Crystal Palace was where the problem really began. I think Ten Hag should have taken Casemiro off, when it seemed as though the game was, all but won against Crystal Palace. But then they lost, 2 points there. They drew the game, they lost Casemiro, and of course lost to Arsenal. So it wasn't really been a good week for Erik Ten Hag and his squad. But you give them credit for how far they've come. They won a lot of football matches, leading up to this match against Arsenal. They did very well. They've been playing quite well. Rashford looks like a new footballer, a new version of him that no one has ever seen. He's very confident, he's very fast, and he really takes decisions quickly, and it's really cool. It makes me wonder whether, Gareth Southgate knew what he was doing at the World Cup, because if he had played Saka on the right, Rashford on the left, and played Kane in the middle, who knows? He kept tinkering with the squad, he kept making all manner of, weird choices, and the rest they say is history. Arsenal played very well. I will not lie to you, as this is me trying to be objective. Arsenal were beautiful to behold. They played beautifully well. In the first half, I wouldn't say so completely. I think they were struggling with their passing and decision making. Martinelli performed really strange. It was a very strange performance from Martinelli. I don't know. I think maybe it's down to fatigue, because he's played a ton of games this season. But Martinelli struggled. It was really weird to see him struggle. He struggled so much. He couldn't really get past Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You have to give Wan-Bissaka his flowers though. I mean, he's a tough tackler. He's known to be, very excellent in 1v1 situations, and so it really made life difficult for Martinelli. The game ended 1-1 at halftime, and everybody was wondering, what was going on. It was perfectly poised for the second half, and the second half didn't disappoint. Ended 3-2 with a fabulous goal in the last minutes, 3-4 minutes to the end, by Eddie Nketiah. Really impressed with Eddie Nketiah, to be honest with you. 7 goals in his last 7 starts for Arsenal. He's fielding well for Gabriel Jesus. I mean, we are not even, talking about the impact that Gabriel Jesus' injury is having on Arsenal. That's how good Eddie Nketiah has been. Remember, he was discovered by Arsene Wenger, joined the club at the age of 14. He's played very well. He's barely got chances since then, but he stayed patient. He's trying to improve his game. And then under Arteta, we began to see a new version of him, a player that can hold up play, a player that can stretch defense lines so that he can bring, wingers and central midfielders, attacking players forward. He really improved that. Before then, he just wanted to stay on the edge of the box, run off on the back of the defender and finish. But what we are seeing is a new version of him. He drives with the ball, he runs with it, he holds back defenders, he tries to bring midfielders and wingers into play. And that's credit to Arteta really, because it's really transformed him. My personal favorite player for the game was Zinchenko. Zinchenko was world class. I mean, it's still surprising that Manchester City, let him join Arsenal. He was imperious. It's been a while I saw a player dominate a football match like that. He did it against Newcastle as well, when people were not noticing. But against Manchester United, he did it again. He played left back. At some point, it was left wing. At some point, it was central attacking midfielder. It was everywhere. His passing was very crisp. Was not offside. Positionally, was very aware, and it was really impressive to see how he performed. Manchester United, I think that they missed Casemiro. I think they lost the game as soon as Casemiro got the yellow card, because even you see the way their reaction was on the pitch as soon as Casemiro got the yellow card. Ten Hag looked displeased. Bruno Fernandes wasn't happy. Casemiro himself was disappointed with himself, because they knew that that was going to have a massive impact on the game, and you think that it did, because the pass that Thomas Partey gave to Trossard, before Trossard laid it off for Zinchenko, McTominay ought to have intercepted that ball. It was a ball that if he took a step, earlier, he would have intercepted that ball, but he couldn't reach the ball. Then Leandro Trossard, came on and did his business, gave the ball to Zinchenko, who gave the cross for the assist for the goal. So, it's really telling that moment was very pivotal. The yellow card against Crystal Palace and McTominay's miss, in the launch for that ball. I think that Manchester United are really going to trouble teams. I think they will qualify for the Champions League. This is my own belief. Manchester United will qualify for the Champions League. I think Newcastle will also get to Europe. I don't know who will go to Champions League, between Newcastle and Tottenham. I don't know. I think Newcastle will go to Europe. But Manchester United, for me, are dead on, headed for the Champions League. I think they will do very well again. They have played very well, and they deserve, how they've played. The other games are also played out. Spanish League, the Italian League, and the German League. The games are coming thick and fast. Napoli are doing very well. They are surprising a lot of teams. They refuse to come off the table. And they've also been helped by the scandal that is rocking Italian football again. And it's the usual suspects, Juventus. Juventus have been docked 15 points by FIGC for issues relating to fraud and the way they handle their finances, especially from the COVID-19 period up till now. Napoli are taking advantage, obviously. They are playing very well. Inter Milan and AC Milan still struggling to catch up, but they are doing their very best. Watch out for Victor Osimhen. I love the way he's playing. He's doing very well, and I think he might go to the Premier League next season. Good luck to anyone who's negotiating with Aurelio De Laurentiis, the owner of Napoli. It's going to be really difficult for whoever is going to negotiate that deal with him. But I think Napoli, might be losing him to the Premier League. Premier League is flush with cash right now, and all big clubs are trying to buy the best players in the world. German League returned back. Was impressed to see the way Borussia Dortmund, looked. They looked quite sharp. They scored a lot of goals. At some point, Augsburg was really giving it to them, but they also played very well. Two attacking teams, they kept coming at each other, and it was really important, and it was really nice. And it was really nice to see the way they played. Yeah, Spanish League, well, what can we say? Barcelona are still on the run, doing a good thing, playing very well, topping the table, beat Getafe by a goal to nil. Real Madrid also did very well, got their win. And, I think that that's also going to be poised. Like I said, I think the game is going to be determined by, the El Clasicos. The margins are so small, and both teams are struggling to find, a way to, leave the other one behind. So they're playing quite well. Well, that's it for me this week, the Objective Football Banter Show. I hope you guys will click like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you like us to improve on. Let me know in the comments, what your thoughts are about the games I just concluded. And I'll see you in the next episode. Love.